Hello, my name is Colin Stanton. This is my baseline video for my Psychology of Learning project. Within this, we are assigned to look into something that we've always wanted to do but never really had the time to, something that we're interested in learning, and something that we will be committed to doing throughout the entire semester and devoting a good portion of time to. Within that, I've decided that I wanted to look into one of three things. Either it was going to be learning welding, learning some form of metalworking or carpentry, or working on losing weight. My number one was learning metalworking and welding. This is because this is something that I know absolutely nothing about at all. I've had no experience with working with metal. I've had no experience working with welding, but it's always been something that I've been highly interested in doing. Um, Welding seems as if it's something that it's a very useful skill. It can come in handy when trying to build something new, working on a home, working on a car. The purpose behind me wanting to do it right now is to be able to do some metal fabrication for the truck that I have right now. I also see uses later on in life when I have a family and a home. Within that, I can maybe build something. I intend on building throughout my entire life. My second was carpentry. I've already worked at the Shannon Center here on campus. This is my second year working there. I know a great deal about carpentry, so it was going to be kind of difficult as far as trying to find something that I would be able to do that I didn't already know. I am a master carpenter there, so it would have been fairly difficult since I know almost just about everything. And the third was going to be losing weight. My brother's wedding is coming up this summer, and I wanted to try and lose some weight for that. I'm still going to continue to do that and work on that. But the one that I have chose to do is metalworking. Within metalworking, I had to find a coach because we have to have someone that is experienced in that field to show us how to do it. I had a great deal of difficulty finding a coach. I knew that here on campus there was the art department. Within the art department, they have a metalworking and welding shop. I didn't know the extent of how large that shop was or what they had there, or what they had available. I emailed the professor that runs that shop, and I never really got anything back. I sent him a few more emails, never really got anything back. And I finally sent one last email, and he finally got back to me and told me that due to liability, he didn't feel comfortable training me or showing me how to do that stuff or being my coach for this project. And there's also the fact that he wasn't replying to me due to the fact that he had the flu. So after that, I went to my boss at the shop that I work at the Shannon Center and asked him if he would be willing to work with me on either metalworking or carpentry. He suggested that we work on metalworking and welding due to the fact that I already, like I said, know a great deal about carpentry. Within that, he said that he actually wanted to expand the shop into metalworking and welding. He went out and bought a Harbor Freight welder, and I intend on using that at some point, but I need to learn safety and metalworking first. He said that before I start doing anything, I need to read into the Welder's Handbook by Richard Finch. He gave me a copy of it. This is it right here. He told me which chapters to read, and I'm going to read those. And at some point before we start welding, he's going to give me a verbal quiz. It's important to know the safety behind it because welding is obviously very dangerous. You could seriously hurt yourself. You could seriously hurt others. You could start fires. So on and so forth. So I'm going to read a few chapters of this, come back, tell you what I know, and we'll go from there. Now that I've done some of the reading that was assigned to me, I've come to understand that there's a great deal that goes into even just basic welding. You have to understand the equipment that you're going to be using, which is both safety equipment, the welder, the type of metal that you're using, how you're going to connect it, whether you're using an automatic or a manual welder. There's the filler metal that you're going to be using. So that's the metal that you're using to fuse the two other pieces of metal together. There's only certain metals will work with other metals. The preparation of the pieces that you're going to be putting together. So with different pieces, you have to prep them in different ways using different things. Like I said, there's a difference between a manual and an automatic welder. The amount of heat application that you're going to be using to fuse those pieces of metals together varies with different types of metals. You have to have a basic knowledge of the types of metals that you're going to be using and their different properties. So welding isn't as simple as I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be extremely simple, but there's a lot of science and other things that you have to understand before you can actually begin welding. For my next video, I know that I'm not going to go straight into welding. I have to know more about the other properties and other things that go into it. So within the next video, I plan on using the grinders and different types of saws in order to cut other welds away that are broken. And we will start to begin to cut apart a metal ladder that is going to be used at a later time. Thank you very much, and see you next time.